Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. This video highlights the lessons learned from the 16 CD of Kevin Trudeau's teaching. He said, "The super wealthy around the world will never say it publicly, but they believe that the secrets of success, the knowledge that they have, should be kept exclusively within their groups, and that's why some of these societies were put together, to keep this knowledge secret." What do you want out of your life? Are you angry, frustrated, overweight, struggling with finances? Do you want a different life? Do you want to go to bed with a big smile on your face? Then listen to this. Kevin Trudeau said he was told, if you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. If you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. We can't keep doing the same thing all the time. If you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's just not going to happen. If you want things in your life to change, if you want your circumstances to change, then you're going to have to do things differently. You're going to have to think different. You're going to have to change the things you're doing. But most importantly, you're going to have to change the way you think. Kevin said the next reason people fail is they spend too much time on the how. The how is not as important as the thought process. People often say, "I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to raise the money for that business. I don't know how in the world I could have enough money to pay off all my bills. I don't have any idea how I could be able to take a 1-month holiday." They think of their desire, and they come up with all the reasons why it won't happen in their life, because they don't know the technique. They don't know how. They don't know where the money's coming from. If you're going to build a skyscraper, you must build a foundation, and that foundation has to be strong. Without that foundation, nothing will happen. How do you manifest your desires? Which means whatever you want in life, you can call it forth. Whatever you desire, whatever you want, you can give the command and manifest it in your physical experience. Whatever your heart desires, whatever you want to see in front of you, whatever you want to do or have, all you have to do is give the command. Whether that be happiness, whether that be money, whether it be a bigger house or something material like a car, whether it be a relationship, whatever it is you want. Kevin said, "I am not afraid of the 10,000 strikes that you practiced only once. I am definitely afraid of the one strike that you've practiced 10,000 times." The secret is that most people think there are many secrets to success. Therefore, they can't be successful because they don't know all of the secrets. The biggest secret of the societies is that there's only a few basic concepts, but the key is mastering them to a level that nobody could imagine. I am not afraid of the 10,000 strikes that you practiced only once. Napoleon Hill wrote his book, The Richest Man in the World. He was told this by Andrew Carnegie, and it was verified by Henry Ford. This is one of the secrets that they know, that you have in your head, the most powerful transmitter and receiver of frequency or energy on the planet. He said the key that he learned from Carnegie was define your dream, and then secondly, get a burning desire for its achievement. Define your dream, determine exactly what you want, clearly identify what you want, and then get a burning desire for its achievement. So the question is, what is the definition of burning desire? How do we define your dream? How did we get a burning desire? How do we define our dream? So the key is, according to Napoleon Hill, is you have to have a burning desire. So first define your dream, then secondly, get a burning desire for achievement, and that burning desire will mean you don't just want that dream. You need the dream. I need to have that house. I'm desiring that house. I can't wait to get that house. I want that. Oh, I can't wait. And when you start having a burning desire for that house, the intensity of the transmission that's coming out of your brain, that you're broadcasting, is very high, and the power is very high. And because you have a burning desire to get the house, you're going to be thinking about it all the time. So the broadcast is very frequent. The duration of that broadcast is longer. Therefore, the house should come right into your experience somehow. Now somebody says, "But wait a minute, what if I can't afford the house?" Then you know you're on the wrong side of the training balance scale. Remember, Kevin said, when your attitude's right, the facts don't count. And another way of saying it is, you don't need to know the how, because the law of attraction will make it happen. How does the law of attraction make it happen? It basically will create and put into your life events and circumstances that you can't even imagine to create what you want. It will move mountains to put into your existence what you're asking for. The law of attraction has to work because it's a law, it works, period. Virtually, hundreds of thousands of different variables start shifting around that you're not even aware of or thinking about to create a situation where that house or car or job will be in your life. Most people go through their life looking at their radar, looking at the things within their scope, as Kevin said. And they're looking at what they can see in the radar screen. And this is why people fail, because they base all of their decisions and beliefs on what they can see in the radar screen. For example, you have a $50,000 in credit card debt. How can I pay that off? I'm looking at my income. I'm looking at my expenses. I'm looking at my prospects for getting a new job or getting some money somewhere. There's nothing. There's no way that I can pay off my credit card debt. It's impossible. All you're doing is you're looking at what you see on the radar screen. Now, if you imagine that the small scope of the radar screen, take a moment and imagine what's off the radar screen. What's outside of the screen? The screen can only see very little. There is a great world of possibilities out there. There are 1,000,000 feet of additional area outside the radar screen, but you're only seeing a 3-inch diameter. You can't see the vast majority of what is available is off your radar screen. You can't even imagine it. But once you start activating the law of attraction, everything outside the radar screen starts shifting and moving. It starts moving towards you. There can be virtually hundreds of thousands, if not millions or billions or trillions of variables that start moving and shifting because you have transmitted a vibration with power and intensity. For a long duration, everything starts shifting and everything starts happening and rushing towards you. What you want wants you. It has to, by law, it start coming toward you. It has to be something you can believe in. So if you were to write a list of all the things you want, you may want a lot of things today, but you may only believe right now that you can only get a few of them. Let's say I were to ask you to write a list of all the things you want. If money wasn't an object and you knew you couldn't fail, write down anything and everything you want. If money wasn't an object, or if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want? Do you want to have a dream house, eat at a certain restaurant, go to Hawaii, get a private jet, get a black Mercedes? What do you want? A new wardrobe, a new job, start your own business, open up a restaurant, whatever. You know, lose 20 pounds, learn a foreign language, learn to play the piano, be a great singer. Make a list of everything that you want. If money wasn't an object, you hit the lottery 5 times. Or if you knew you couldn't fail. So just write down whatever comes to mind. So I want you to scan that list. Scan this list and each one of them just quickly next to it on a scale of 1 to 10. Write down what your belief is that you can get this. Let's say within the next 6 months. 10 being absolutely, 1 being no chance. You can't focus on the things on your list that are 1, because you have no belief you'll achieve them. And this is why people fail and miss the whole point. People are teaching you to get this outrageous big dream and focus on it. The size of the dream doesn't matter. What matters is your belief. And they give you all these techniques to focus on this big dream. And you go through 10 years of your life and it never comes. And you're frustrated because you don't believe you're going to get it. And it's never going to come in because you're transmitting the intention of getting it and a counter intention of you don't believe it. If you look at that list, which ones should you focus on? Well, you should focus on the 10s. There are 2 sides to it. The sweet spot is something you want, which you really, really want, which is high excitement desire gets the juices flowing. Get you excited. When you think about getting it, get you really motivated lights, your fire. And at the same time, you absolutely believe you can get it. These are the 2 sides. The sweet spot is a goal that, you know, you would feel so good when you get it and you believe that you can get it right now. If you keep focusing on this radar screen and you can't see how it would come, you're still too focused on the how, but you're thinking about the house. So you're thinking I can. You're already figuring out ways to do it, which makes your belief go up. You see, when you get to unconscious competence, the how becomes irrelevant. And the more you do this, with any dream, your belief goes sky high because you have no clue of how it's going to happen. You just know from experience that whatever you want happens. Think about it. It makes you feel good. You're looking for something that makes you feel really good, really excited, really motivated. You need massive desire. Remember Napoleon Hill. Find your dream and a burning desire for its achievement. So the first question is, which of these dreams do you have a burning desire for? Do you have a high belief? 8, 9 or 10. Those are the ones in the sweet spot. Some of you thinking, I don't have very many, that's okay. Because there is a success cycle. It's a motivation cycle. When you do something for the first time and you see it work and you see the success, your belief goes up that this works. And once you start seeing magic happen, once you start seeing something occur that you didn't know how it would occur, because you couldn't see how by looking at your radar screen, suddenly you start believing this is possible. This stuff works, and all of a sudden the dreams that you have in the burning desires for all suddenly match up with the belief. You can actually achieve them. So the belief level starts going up. which is what Napoleon Hill said. Find your dream and get a burning desire for it to achievement. First, define what you want. There's 3 ways to define what you want: very specific, general, or just something that makes you feel good. Think about it. When you think about it, you have to have a burning desire. If you don't have a burning desire to the dream house, then leave it for later. Don't focus on it. How do you feel? Do you want to feel good? You need to get a burning desire for something. If you think about that goal or that dream or that desire, and you feel better, your actual feelings get better. You're in the sweet spot. If your feelings get lower, you get depressed, frustrated, angry, annoyed. That means you're not in the sweet spot, because that means you don't have a high level of belief that you can get it right now. Doesn't mean you'll never get it. We just have to change that level of belief. If you start feeling bad, that means one of 2 things: either what you want is really not in line with what's in your best interest, but most of the time is because you're starting to doubt. You're starting to doubt, your belief is going down because you're focusing on the how. Because you're now saying, I don't understand how this is going to happen. You're focusing on your radar screen. You're focusing on the facts. You're focusing on only those things which you can see, and based on what you can see, it won't happen. 99.9% of the things that will take place and happen to cause what you want to come into you are off the radar screen. You can't see them, and you can't even imagine them. You can't even dream of what they are. So what's on the radar screen is completely irrelevant. You have to stop using what's called mysticism, which is blaming outside influences on your circumstances. The way the masses have been controlled is to get the masses to believe that it's not their fault. It's the government's fault. It's the economy. It's all external, but it's not. By saying the cause of your downfall is external, what you're saying is that external forces have power over you, and you have no power and no control to change it. You have 100% creative ability. You are a creator, and you are responsible for everything in your life, positive or negative, and whatever happened. You created it, and there's nothing to worry about. No big deal, because if you created a disaster, you can just as easily use your brain and it frequently, and turn the disaster into the greatest triumph of all time. This knowledge frees you when you know that you have that power, and that you are in fact the creator of your own destiny and the creator of your own experience. You need to take 100% responsibility. If you're feeling bad to any degree, the question is, what are you doing? If you're feeling bad to any degree, you are thinking about what you don't want, which means your brain is transmitting a frequency of what you don't want. Or, you may be thinking about what you want, but you doubt you'll get it. You believe you won't get it, which in effect means you're thinking about what you don't want. So anytime you're feeling bad, it always comes down to one thing you're thinking about: what you don't want to happen. You have been thinking mostly negative thoughts. Negative thoughts brings more negative thoughts, and more negative thoughts. Your brain is transmitting negative thoughts, which attracts other negative thoughts, which attract more negative thoughts, and by law of attraction, start leading to a chain of negative actions. And you actually have neural pathways that developed in your brain that have negative patterns. And so over time, you might be unconsciously competent when it comes to thinking negative. It happens automatically for you. You are so proficient at instantly thinking a negative thought and thinking why it won't work. Why it won't work, why can't that happen? And coming up with all the reasons why things won't happen and focusing on what you don't want. You're brilliant. You've been doing it your whole life. So when you start thinking of the positive, you're now developing new neuropathways. The old neuropathways are trying to pull you like a negative ball of energy. Like a magnet is pulling you to think that way, because that's your pattern. That's your habit. So conscious competence is required for about a month of doing that. So you start developing new neuropathways and start getting a positive ball. Bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger, it starts attracting. And the negative ball of energy starts diminishing. And so its attractive power starts getting less. And so over time, your habits and patterns of thinking negative and the neuropathways start losing all their power every day. Monitor how you feel. If you feel good, your objective is to feel better. If you feel bad to whatever degree, that could be on the low end of the scale of complete depression, where you're suicidal or just bored or unsure, afraid, feeling grief, anger, hate, any negative emotion. When every time you feel that is telling you, you are thinking the wrong thought. You can have what's called a dream board. And a dream board is something that you can have in your office or your house. And this is where you put pictures of things that you potentially want. But it can be anything that you potentially want. Pictures of an island, the car you want, a yacht, a family, whatever you want. And you create this with your hands. You do it yourself, you cut pictures out or you draw pictures. And if you can take out pictures of yourself and put yourself in those pictures, like you and your family in front of the car, add yourself into the picture. This whole process of creating with your hands makes the reality, because it forces you to think about these things that you want. Remember, you get what you think about most of the time. Does that make sense? you get what you think about most of the time. So what we're trying to do here is get you to think about what you want most of the time and feel good about it when you think of it. And this is really more important than any other skill is these 3 things. 1. Read books every day, even if it's a page. Leaders are always readers. When you're reading books, it's causing you to focus positively on the things you want. It's raising your level of belief. And while you're reading, you are virtually blasting out positive vibrations, therefore creating positive experiences in your life. 2. Listen to great audiobooks every day. Hey, if you drive a car, you can listen to 10 minutes of a good audiobook. You could get the entire CD collections of Your Wish Is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau and listen to the entire thing to get more information. Get a great book and listen to it while driving. You don't have to listen for hours, just a few minutes. Consistency is key every day. 3. Associate with people that have what you want. Like-minded people, listen to them and observe them. Kevin said one of the most profound things I have ever heard. 5 years from now, your income is going to be the average of your 5 best friends. Why? Why is that? Because when you're associating with people, your brains are synchronizing and your thought process becomes aligned, till you almost know what that person is going to do or say. And if their thought process is low at an income level, yours match and your incomes all match, because the thoughts that would develop the income. You can change your life today by stop dwelling on the negative and focus on the positive.